What's up guys, HaFast Garage here. Today I'm going to be relocating the fuel door on my 1980 K20 to the rear on the account of I have a BLAZER tank in between the frame rails at the back. So I'll be slicing that gas door out and relocating it to the rear. And I'll show you how I'm going to do that. I've never done any body work like this, not on the outside of a vehicle anyways, that would be seen. So see how it goes. I have no idea how I'm going to do it. I've got no straight lines on the truck, everything's wrinkled. So you can see I've got a big crease there. Everything back here is rippled, the body line is not really straight. The gas door is going to end up right around here. So I think what I've decided, I've got this toolbar magnet. I'm going to stick that on the body line and trace my marks with a square and decide if I'd like to cut it or not. And then we'll try to copy that on the rear and see if we can space everything out and transplant it to the rear. So I'll set the camera up and see if I can trace everything out, decide if I want to cut it or not. Okay, so I've got the magnet set on the body line. I used my digital magnetic level on the top of the box rail and I compared the two. They're both at 1.9 degrees where my truck's sitting right now. So I went ahead and put a piece of tape here. That way if my magnet moves at all, I can slide it back into place. So now I'll make sure everything's square by measuring from the magnet down to the fuel door opening and see that the magnet is in the proper spot. Six and a quarter and 6 1/4 over here. So I'll make some marks with a square. Not sure if I'll use tape or a paint marker to scribe my lines. Alright, so I've got both of my vertical marks made parallel to each other. Now I'm going to measure from one line to the other to make sure that they're square and true to each other. And then I can make my horizontal marks and start cutting. Got 7.5 inches there. And 7.5 inches down below. So it looks good to me. I'll make some marks and cut it out. Okay, I've got my horizontal lines made. Let's see. 8 inches outside to outside. And 8 inches outside to outside. Alright. Time for the moment of truth. I got that cut out. Now I think what I'm going to do is lay a piece of paper over my opening, make myself a template so I've got the exact dimensions so that everything fits tight when I transplant this over to here. That's my plan. So I'm going to go get some paper, make a template of that, and then try to put the tool magnet back here, do my measurements, and figure out where things need to go. Okay, so I've got a piece of paper here, some masking tape. I'm going to attempt to make a template. Dirty fingers, that's the other thing you'll need for this. This paper's a little bit thick, but I think it'll work better for a template, but I'm not sure if it'll make the imprint I want, so let's try and see. So stick that over like that. Okay, got that on there. Now again, the important part, dirty fingers. If you're a neat freak, not gonna work. Clean freak, get out of here. Okay, so you can't really see it on camera, but I've got a pretty good ridge there. So I'll cut that out, see how it matches up. So here's the front side, but the back actually left a really good imprint. So I'm gonna trace the back side and cut that out. Be right back. Got my piece of board paper cut out. Let's see how it fits. I'd say that's pretty good fitment. Yeah, I'll just take a smidge. Okay, so I've got the template here, and after all, I just caught myself with what I think might have been a mistake. So I actually went ahead and laid the template onto the piece that I had cut out, because if I were to copy this would actually be a larger hole, and I'd end up with quite a bit to fill. So I'll start with this piece, because we've got to account for the width of the grinder blade, which is I think 3/32. So yeah, so I've got the template trimmed down to the same size as the fuel door, and I'll go ahead and transfer this to the back now. So I've got my magnet and my masking tape in place. I've made my measurements to make sure everything is square with the magnet and my temporary lines here. Now I'm going to lay my template in place, tape it and trace it, and get ready for the next cut. Got the template stuck on, positioned where I want it, measured everything, eyeballed everything. Nothing else to do. Trace it, cut it, try and weld it. Hopefully I don't destroy my box. There we go, ready to cut. So here we are. Got this piece, obviously very rounded. This piece, obviously not so much. So I'm gonna have to form my gas door to fit. So that's gonna take some persuasion. Okay, a couple hours later, I got this bent in the shape. Fitting pretty good. Right like that, in the bottom left corner in front of my face will have to get bent a bit, but good enough for me in this old truck. Clean everything up and tack it. Okay, well, there it is. Got it all roughed in, tacked. It's not perfect, but neither is my truck. I'm happy with it. Burn it in. Well, after I got everything tacked and I tried to fit the fuel door, I realized I made a big mistake. I didn't account for the hinge. So I'll be reusing the old fuel door and putting a door hinge on it or something. I don't hide my mistakes. I learn from them. There it is, all welded in, the dirty old flux core. And tomorrow I'll grind it. Got this panel set up. Just need to center it, grind the edges, and take my time and fill it in. Day 2 on the gas door dilemma. Fit that in there with the panel clamps. I think I'll use a piece of welding rod as a filler. There's my panel is a little bit smaller. So I'm gonna grind everything up, and then I'll do a time lapse of tacking everything together. Got all the clamps fitted, probably a little more than I need, but everything looks good. Start doing a couple tacks, and I will use welding rod as filler if necessary. Well, there we go. I got the front hole filled in. It's pretty ugly, but it's good enough for me and this truck. I think I'm just gonna primer and paint. I won't bother grinding the welds for now. And then I'll figure out a hinge for this door. And just like that, it's painted. Now I just need to work on the door hinge for the fuel door.